They're having a cordial conversation. He's not looking for blood. It turns south when she said, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. She got a boiling hot water, a pan in her hand. Then he pulls a gun on her and she comes down here and then she jumps up and throws the pot at him. This is justified use of deadly force.
She never attempted to throw water on the cop. What are you talking about, bro? People like this, though, you have no justification, bro. You have no justification. You showed me in the video where she even attempted one time where she said that she was going to do that. One time where she threatened the cop. One time that she motioned like she was going to do that. Never. Never.
Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
Man, welcome back to another episode of the Ruling Class Podcast, or Diddy Got a Podcast. Man, if you're new to the show, I ask that you please hit the like button so you can promote this video and push this video into the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Listen, man, I'm going to get right into it. This is the first time I've ever recorded in a vehicle before for my channel, but I really need to talk about this situation, and I'll be honest with you. It's regarding the Sonya Massey shooting. And before we even get into it, I'm going to say first and foremost, rest in peace to that young lady, to that young woman. I send condolences to her and her family and her loved ones. I want to get that out the way first. Now, when the situation first broke, because apparently this happened early in the year, as I understand, but the video is just now going viral. And I'll be honest, I was going to drop a video a couple of days ago reacting to it when I first heard about it. But I've been so busy and I really haven't had the time. But I also said I wanted to wait until a particular person or a particular audience covered the topic, because even though it shouldn't matter what other human beings say, I've religiously on this channel talked about how I'm not, a liberal and how I'm not a conservative. And one of the reasons why I'm not a conservative, despite the fact that I hold a lot of conservative perspectives, is primarily because of a lot of the people that's a part of the conservative movement. And I want to start with somebody in particular, and that being Officer Tatum. If you don't know who Officer Tatum is, he's a former police officer, has a massive following. He has millions of subscribers and followers across all different platforms. He has like over 3 million subs here on YouTube alone. I want to talk about something he said pertaining to the Sonya Massey shooting. He said some things before in the past, several things before in the past, that are just clearly pandering to his audience, clearly, clickbait, clearly just trying to get the most controversial video out there to render more views, which is always confusing to me because, the man has a massive following. He has a clothing brand, and he makes great money from what he does. The Sonya Massey shooting, he finally dropped a video to it yesterday, and I cannot believe what this man said. But then again, I can believe what he said.
After this has happened, you should have used a taser. But to be honest, a person shouldn't use a taser if they're this close to the person and they fear a dangerous situation. If you're faced with an incident like this, it's reasonable that a cop that probably doesn't have a tremendous amount of experience is not going to immediately go to training, right? Some training that they didn't get. They're going to immediately go, oh, let me be calm. Hey, ma'am, please drop the pot. Sometimes the instinct is that, okay, if I threaten this person and if they know I'm serious, that'll deter them from trying to kill me, right? So he pulled a gun and she dodged. Totally justified. He don't know what this guy's doing. It happened like this. I just think that they're going after law enforcement. Benjamin Crump is a culprit in it. If there's a black woman that's involved in any incident, they automatically want to indict the police officer because they're white. They make it about a racial thing. It's like they say Breonna Taylor was shot. They compared this woman to Breonna Taylor. It's so disingenuous. They compared this one to another young lady in Fort Worth that got killed. It's so disingenuous. It's crazy to me.
Psychologist. I probably struggle with psychology.
He said that the shooting was justified. He said that what these officers did to Sonya Massey was justified. He's also another one of those people who argued that George Floyd deserved what happened to him, in part because of his criminal background, in part because he had drugs in his system, in part because the autopsy came back and said that it's very likely that the drugs may have been the cause of his demise and not the knee on his neck, despite the fact that it was an officer that held his knee on this man's neck in his windpipe for an unprecedented amount of time. But I digress. The Sonya Massey shooting. Let's get a few things out of the way. As somebody who studies psychology, has a degree in mental health counseling, just from my perspective, does it appear to me that Miss Sonya Massey was in some sort of distress and possibly dealing with some sort of mental health condition? Absolutely. It has absolutely nothing to do with what happened to her. Let's think about what happened. First of all, one of the officers invited themselves into her house, and she didn't even tell them to come in. He had his body cam off. He asked for her ID. Why do you need her ID? You said, well, they have to identify to make a report, and she did call them out, so they need to know who they're talking to. Okay, whatever. They get into the apartment. Clearly, she's distraught. She's not able to focus. Don't know why that's a talking point. That has nothing to do with what happened to her. They ask her, in the video you're going to hear Officer Tatum say, they tell her to go turn off the fire so that it doesn't start a fire in the house. Even the language he's using is misleading. They asked her to go turn off the pot of boiling water that was on the stove so that a fire wouldn't start from that. Don't really know how that can happen in a short period of time, but whatever. She gets up to do exactly what the officers tell her to do. She gets over there and she gets to pour the boiling water. She realizes that one of the cops is like distancing himself. She asks him what's wrong. He says, you have hot water. I don't want to get burned. And she's like, oh, okay. And I think she chuckled a little bit. And she's beginning to pour the water over into the sink. She then goes, I rebuke you. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. Or I rebuke you in the name of Jesus Christ. What's wrong with saying that? What's the problem with that? Nothing. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. He said, you better effing not, I'll shoot you in the effing face. That don't sound like a cop. What cop talks to a civilian like that? Especially a civilian who's no threat to him. Especially an older lady with a pot of water pouring it, getting ready to pour it over into her sink. That doesn't sound like a cop. That sounds like a bully. This cop, in my understanding, who's worked for several different agencies over the past, 6 years or something, or the past 3 years, this officer who's been charged in at least 1 or 2 DUIs in the past is a bully. He's not an officer, he's a bully. This idiot, and I really don't like to talk like this, said that you cannot throw boiling water on a cop and not expect to get shot. She never attempted to throw water on the cop. What are you talking about, bro? I hate it, bro. There's a lot of liberals, especially a lot of black people, that would just accuse black conservatives of trying to impress white people. And I don't subscribe to that because that's not always the case. People like this, though, you have no justification, bro. You have no justification. You show me in the video where she even attempted one time where she said that she was going to do that. One time where she threatened the cop. One time that she motioned like she was going to do that. Never. Never. And even if she did, why would you pull out your gun? We're not even talking about that. Even if this woman was a threat with a pot of boiling water on the other side of the house, why would you pull out your gun? Why not pull out your taser? Why not back all the way back up to the door? But I digress, because she never was a threat to them. And even when they say, you better effing not pour the boiling water down, the woman quickly apologized. Don't know what she's apologizing for, by the way. She quickly apologized, crashed down, and they still shot her 3 times. And if you notice, the other cop that was with this bully, this idiot, and I hope he gets charged and never sees the light of day again. If you notice, the cop that was with him had almost nothing to say. That man was at a loss for words But that goes to show you how officers treat each other. When they even know when they know that the other officer's in the wrong, there's still a particular conduct in the way in which they carry themselves because they know that they're being filmed and they don't want to make the other cop look bad. He know that cop effed up. He know that cop had a short temper. He know that cop was a ticking time bomb. He knew that. And then you got this idiot, and Officer Tatum, who's pandering to his conservative fan base, which he knows is majority white conservatives, gonna say it was justified. What kind of godless, mindless, lack of morals, lack of eyesight, what code do you live by, brother?
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
All right, y'all, round two. I hope this is not another Uvalde, but I just want to make this video to give a more detailed explanation of my opinions about this last situation, because it seems like a lot of people had a misconstrued version of what I was trying to say or what my total thoughts were. It's okay to disagree with me on the video. I don't mind. I'm open to dialogue. But when I believe that people are putting words in my mouth and things that I did not say, or saying that I agree with things I do not agree with, it necessitates me to make a follow-up video just to clarify these things, and then we move on. Because at the end of the day, I'm not indicted and I'm not in the casket.
Are YouTube and Instagram and TikTok views that important to you? This is a prime example of what happens when you claim to believe in Jesus Christ, which a lot of these conservatives do. Not all of them, but a lot of them claim to believe in Jesus Christ. But if you pay close enough attention and you listen just long enough, they're going to show themselves for what they really are. They don't believe in Jesus. They believe in the name or the sake of conservative traditional or conservative traditions in itself, more so than they do Jesus Christ. Here's proof. You're not supposed to mark your body. If you notice with Officer Tatum, the longer he's had his podcast, the more successful it's become. This man has gotten more and more tattoos all up his arm, got scriptures. It's like, what type of oxymoron is that? You're marking your temple, the thing that the scriptures clearly say you should not be doing. And if you've done it before in the past, yes, you can be forgiven for it. But you're this loud conservative Christian voice actively still marking your body with scriptures. What type of backward stuff is that, bro? You're full of yourself, man. It's people like this that love to hear themselves speak so much, love to hop in the comment section and see all these white people from across the world validate the things that he say mostly about other black people. A lot of the things that I agree with, by the way. But I do it for a different reason. Because if you really cared about the black community, if you really cared about these topics, you would be in real life, in these real communities, helping these real people. Not just doing it for clicks and views and to make other people who don't look like you feel good. How dare you? There is hope. Because if you go to his comment section, the people down there are clowning him. In what world is this justified, bro? This man, like, it's so bad, his take is so bad, it took him so long to respond to it because he know he had a terrible take. I think he wanted to feel the lay of the land first, see what everybody else was saying. And he wanted to be the lone wolf to come out and say the most dumb thing he can think of. Justified. So explain why the officer was fired and charged. Is that what you're going to say? Oh, because liberals and the left. Is that right? So how come you don't say the same thing when an officer that you feel like was in the right was not charged? Is it liberals then? I don't understand these folks, bro. I truly cannot believe what I just saw. Over 3 million subscribers. And you just got on video as a former police officer and said that this was justified. I wonder if your mother is still living, man. As a black man, I'm wondering. That could be your aunt, bro. You cannot throw water. She never attempted to do that. She never did that. How dare you? And I also want to say, if you notice, right after the cop shot Miss Massey, his partner was like, I'm going to go and get my medical kit. And the cop stopped him and was like, nah, man, it's no, I mean, you can if you want to, but it's no need. It was a headshot. You're not even going to give it an attempt to try to save this human being's life? Her life is just over just like that because of your temper. I mean, he was rude and condescending from the start. He was irritated because she didn't come to the door right away. I think he was irritated because clearly she mentally was spaced out and she wasn't exactly answering his questions, and he was growing impatient, and he was, bro, I'm at a loss for words, bro. I'm at a loss for words. After the shooting, he's explaining what happened and lied and was like, man, she just came at us, man. She just never did that. Your body cam footage was off. Your partner's wasn't. Your partner's wasn't. When he would, like, it was either him or I think it was his partners that walked to the back of the car. One of the officers walked to the back of the car, and we can see on the body cam footage that he just constantly like just cursing and just swearing like, yeah, y'all just effed up. Y'all effed up, bro. Y'all effed up, bro. She was no threat. No threat whatsoever. Conservatives like this are so funny to me because they literally praise presidential candidates and political candidates and politicians more so than they do Jesus Christ. I mean, if you look at Officer Tatum's page, I mean, this dude got so many remixes and different versions of Donald Trump merchandise that he's created. It's weird. Like, y'all, I'm really starting to believe that all y'all are agents, bro. It's weird. It just makes no sense to me, bro. It just makes no sense to me, bro. At all. It's weird, bro. It's weird, bro. Another thing that I find weird, bro, and I don't know if this is psychops or what, but it's very strange to me that there's nothing, and then all of a sudden there's this right before presidents are elected. 2020, we had like what, 4 of them: Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and like a couple of other folks. Here's this one right before another election. That's not a coincidence, bro. What's really going on around here? I just can't stand these folks, man. So you got the debate. Then you had the Trump assassination attempt, which Trump was in on that. Nobody's trying to assassinate Trump, bro. If Trump was if the elites didn't want Trump to be there, Trump would have never even made it this far. There's so many other ways to get Trump. And now the shooting of this woman has resurfaced. My mind is blown, bro. I mean, this dude should take the video down immediately. He should issue an apology immediately. I mean, at this point, it's literally cringe, right? It's just cringe. And the biggest question I have for people, not just Officer Tatum, but people like him, is who are you doing this for? Right? Like, what's the honest answer? You don't have to tell us, but be honest with yourself. Who are you doing this for when you say things like that? This is a real woman that has a real family and people that care about her. They're going to see that video, bro. And what if they do? Who are you saying that for? Who are you trying to impress? Who are you telling that to that you want to agree with you? Absolutely disgusting. Hop in the comment section and give me your thoughts, man.